Good evening. This is Mayor Andre Quintero, and I'm welcoming you to this emergency preparedness forum that's being put on virtually by the El Monte Police Department. A lot of folks might ask, why would you talk about emergency preparedness? We're in the middle of a pandemic right now. What is the relevance of this at this time? Well, the reality is an emergency can strike at any time, and especially when you're least expecting it the most. So we train and prepare at all times for these types of emergencies that we may encounter. And obviously in California, one of the biggest things that we worry about or are concerned about are possible earthquakes. So fortunately, we have an incredible team here at the El Monte Police Department that is always training and preparing for that moment when everything hits the fan and we have to take action and be ready to respond to the needs of the community. We have new tools at our disposal with the virtual City Hall and also our text messaging program that allows us to reach out to our residents. But today you're going to get to see and hear more about that emergency preparedness. And of course, it's my honor to introduce you to our police chief, David Reynoso. He's been with us now for 5 years and has led a very steady ship here. He's got wonderful professionals that he's working with in the El Monte Police Department, and he's going to introduce them as well. And just wanted to thank you all for tuning in. This is a very important type of opportunity to learn more about emergency preparedness. It will be on our feed at City Hall, on our website and social media, so that if you didn't get a chance to be here, or if you want some of your friends or some family members or someone else to hear this information, it will be readily available. So at this time, it's my honor to introduce Chief David Reynoso. Chief.
Thank you, Mayor. My name is David Reynoso. I'm your Chief of Police, and we're here to talk about emergency preparedness today. I know we're all dealing with this COVID-19 pandemic, and unfortunately, we can't hold this live like we've had before. And we prepare for October because October is Earthquake and Emergency Preparedness Month. So I don't know if we'll be able to host a live meeting, so we thought we'd do this now. We hopefully soon we can all get together at the community center and host a live meeting. It's a lot better to see everyone in person, but this is the way we're going to handle it for now. There's an opportunity for everyone to send in their questions, messages, concerns, and we'll definitely address them. So what I want to go over is the agenda we do have today. Introduction, which is now we have a short video on earthquake preparedness. We'll follow it with the emergency preparedness PowerPoint, a second video, and then time for questions and answers. And we are also working on having an opportunity drawing with those in attendance. So hopefully we get more people. We do have some nice prizes. Let me show you that now. We have a few of these emergency preparedness kits. Contains a lot of valuable information. So we have 5 of these that we'll be giving away. As I mentioned, even though we're in this pandemic, we can't forget emergency preparedness. We're dealing with this pandemic, and in the city, we've done very well. I'm very proud of this community because people are adhering to social distancing, wearing face masks, and really adjusting to the times we live in. But we need to remember that emergency preparedness is really year-round. And your city, your police department is here to support you, but we also count on individual residents to be responsible. And we'll talk more about those items that we're going to suggest that you have in your home in case of an emergency. So now I'll introduce the first video. It will be on emergency preparedness. After that, it will be Sergeant Rich Luna, which will take over the presentation.
When the earth shakes, the ground moves, and things start to fall, you'll ask yourself, how prepared or unprepared are you? Have you removed objects from over the bed and over your head? Anchored your possessions securely to the wall. It won't be a pain, and you're not doing it in vain. Are your emergency kits packed? What about your family, your friends? Did they know what to do, how to get in touch, and where to meet? Do you know how to drop, cover, and hold on, covering your head and neck? What if you're outside? Or in a car? After the shaking stops, look around. Figure out what to do. Stay away from damaged areas. Turn on a radio. Reach out for help. And if you're trapped, do not move about. Stay calm. Only shout as a last resort. Once everything and everyone is safe, get prepared. An aftershock could be on its way. So before the earth shakes, the ground moves, and things start to fall, get prepared. Make a plan. Practice what you know, because an earthquake can happen anytime, anywhere. You never know.
Good evening, everyone. This is Sergeant Rich Luna here at the Police Department, and I just want to reiterate some of the tips that our video just provided us. It's important to remember that we're dealing with COVID right now, but at any time we could still have any number of emergencies come and affect us. Keep in mind that incidents such as earthquakes, inclement weather, wind, any unforeseen emergency, or other man-made disaster could affect us at any given time, and we need to be prepared at all times for such an event. Ultimately, the goal of public safety is to reduce the burden of emergency services after an incident, basically to help the community prepare themselves in the event of a disaster, to care for themselves, and to help each other out in times of need. So basically, before a disaster, public safety, which includes the police department, all your city departments, the fire department, the Office of Emergency Management, and all our private sector entities such as Red Cross work together to help the community prepare themselves and take steps that help them manage and handle a disaster before, during, and after. After the disaster, your public safety, which includes police, immediately go into life-saving and emergency response procedures. We do what is commonly known as windshield surveys. Officers and field personnel immediately go out in the field and begin to assess the situation. We look for damages, we look for emergency needs, and the needs of other items such as resources in terms of other services from other agencies or other supplies and safety needs that might help eliminate any further damage or loss of life or property. It's important to understand that at any given time in the city, we do operate some form of an emergency operations center. Commonly, day and night, the El Monte Police Department has its watch commander working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In the event of a serious event, we do have the option of going to and opening a stationary emergency operations center. That would be staffed with representatives from all of your police department, public works, city services, and the fire department, with an ultimate goal of maintaining all city services. Our ultimate goal is to always protect the community, protect assets, and always to enforce the laws in spite of an emergency which may be occurring. It's important for the police department and each other and other agencies to work with each other and all private and public agencies to maintain public services and as soon as possible return services to normal. This can only be done with effective coordination and communication between not only the agencies, but between the community itself. Before any disaster or emergency, there are several things that one should do within their home and within their family to make the effects of a disaster less. One would be to work on your home, make any corrections, and make it safe. Things such as roofs need to be repaired, electrical services, the clearing of brush and trees, anything that could come down and cause unnecessary damage or loss of life. Take a look around your house and move large items or heavy objects on lower shelves. This will reduce them falling during an earthquake or other serious event. Store bottled water and non-perishable foods in a place where one can receive them and obtain them and use them as needed. Consider identifying alternative housing options, such as other family members where one could stay with, or consider what you have around you, such as an RV or other camping or similar type device that you could stay in if you had to move outside of your house for a short time. Make sure your vehicle's always in good condition. Check the tires, check the engine, maintain the fluids. Make sure it's capable of getting you out of the city should it be necessary. One major thing to consider is a good family communications plan. One way to do so is to establish a phone tree between family members. So one family member calls another, and that person has the responsibility to call another and share emergency information and report on each other's status and safety. Once in a while, hold a disaster drill or have a family discussion and talk about the things you would do if an emergency hit, especially while you were all home or while you were separated. One of the good things to do in your house is to create a survival kit. This can be done simply by just using items you have around the house or can easily be obtained at your local supermarket. One thing that would be to consider is having a large supply of canned or non-perishable foods on hand. Items such as granola bars or other canned items are helpful. Store up to 3 gallons of water per person, which is 3 days worth in your home. Again, that's 1 gallon per person per day. Always have warm clothing and blankets. Consider a flashlight, radio, and having extra batteries. With technology the way it is, portable cell phone batteries or other rechargeable devices are easily available and can often be purchased for a low price and often operate off things such as cell or solar type recharging devices. Always have some dust masks, goggles, gloves, and consider purchasing a generator. Maintain a 2-week supply of medication and first aid supplies, and always consider the needs of infants, the elderly, and those with special needs. One important thing to consider is always our mental health. That's why it's important to have items such as photos readily available to you. This can help you maintain some positive thoughts, consider hope, and consider yourself to keep motivated and keep yourself in good spirits until the situation passes or you can find yourself in a better situation. Always plan to care for your family at least 72 hours before other large-scale assistance can arrive. Wherever you place your storage bag or go bag or your storage tub, always keep it accessible and in a place where you can get to in an emergency. During the actual earthquake or other disaster, always remain calm. Remember, the event will end. If you are indoors, stay there and take cover beneath a table or along an interior wall. Always remember to stop, drop to the ground, and hold on. Avoid glass objects and turn off appliances. If you're outdoors, move to an open area away from buildings or other falling objects. If you are driving, stop on the side of the road and stay in your car. Whenever possible, communicate with and if possible, care for the safety of others, even your neighbors or people you may not know. After the earthquake or disaster, check yourself and others for injuries and help those who are injured. If you need help, consider calling 911. Always remember that 911 may be overwhelmed with excess calls, so only call if it's an emergency. One item to also remember is the ability to text to 911. In a few moments, I'll address this further and show you a slide to give you an example what text to 911 looks like and how a simple message can get you the emergency services you need. Take a look around your home and check for structure damage or any possible fires. Do not enter a damaged or burning building. If you suspect a gas leak, get everyone out of the building if you can and safely turn off the gas at the meter. Activate your emergency plan and stay vigilant until help arrives. With technology improving the way it is, and as today as we're watching this video and this presentation via Facebook, it's important to realize the asset that social media has provided us. It's an effective way to communicate and receive up-to-date emergency at a moment's notice. Your police department, your city services, your fire department, Los Angeles County, FEMA, or other agencies can easily pass information on to you via social media. Always consider checking out the city website at elmonteca.gov to obtain additional information. As our mayor pointed out, Virtual City Hall is available to you and is an easy way for us to share information with you via meetings, other services that are out and available, or by having online Zoom or YouTube type meetings as the one you're watching today. Always utilize Facebook to share information between the city or between your friends and family. Consider Instagram and Twitter, as those are also tools and devices that your local police department and public agencies use to share information. Consider text messages. While phone services may be overwhelmed with excess calls, text messages often take less memory and are easy to pass through the digital system. They can be sent a long distance with ease and are an easy way to pass information from one person to another. As I mentioned earlier, the Text to 911 system is a system that is out and available for the public to use during an emergency and on a day-to-day basis. It's an easy way to share discrete information in a difficult situation to your local police or public safety agency. When you text on the 911 system, your message will go directly to the local emergency system, which is our El Monte Police Dispatch Center. The dispatcher receives a signal notifying them of the text and can text back and forth with you, sending messages and receiving information regarding the emergency or situation you're experiencing. This is also a great way for the hearing impaired to share information. And as stated, it's a means to communicate with your public safety when phone lines are down or calls have exceeded the volume available for the 911 system. Lastly, considering all the information provided, if any further questions arise, you can always contact the Office of Emergency Services at the El Monte Police Department. You can contact Sergeant Richard Luna or Lieutenant Peter Rasick at 626-580-2176. You can also always contact the El Monte Police Department Watch Commander's Office at 580-2109 and leave a message, and we will return your information and provide you any information we possibly can to assist you in any emergency preparation or situation after an event. At this time, we're going to show you a second video regarding emergency preparation, and then we'll return to a question and answer opportunity.
Hi, it's David Reynoso, Chief of Police again. I want to thank those who are currently watching, and I encourage you to send any comments, like I said, any questions regarding the presentation. And hopefully we can come back and do this presentation live, hopefully by sometime in October if we can, if the county or region opens up. That would be valuable, because I really believe that in-person contact is vital and really important. So hopefully we can do that. Like I said, I encourage you to send those questions. One of the things you heard today that's really important and fairly new, not just to our city or police department, really the county, is the text to 911. It's an opportunity, like mentioned earlier, for the hearing impaired to contact 911, or if you need to do it in the discreet manner, or like mentioned before, it takes less information or data to send something via text than make the phone call. So when phone calls, the use of phone calls might be limited, you can still do a text to 911. And I'm happy to see that many people have already used the text to 911 feature that our police department has, or police dispatch center does have. One other number I want to pass on is just our regular dispatch number of 626-580-2100. That's for non-emergent reasons, and of course, in case of emergency, 911. I want to see if we have any questions at this time.
The question, sir, is do you have a resource for a family disaster plan template from Mitch Woolley?
This is Sergeant Luna responding. We do have an emergency prep guide, and we can send you a message directly and arrange for one of the preparation booklets. It's a great household tool, and we will leave it for you at the city clerk's office with your name. But it provides everything with local emergency information and really helps you set up a family disaster plan, a communication plan. And I can provide that booklet. I will have Detective Rojas send you a Insta message, and we'll get you that booklet set aside for you.
We'll also see what we can do beyond this presentation, so we can post more information on emergency preparedness on our social media platforms. And just like it was stated earlier, or virtual city hall, if you haven't been to it, you really should go to it, because there's a lot of information, not just on emergency preparedness, but really on this COVID-19 pandemic. A lot of useful information on resources the city is offering. And one of the things we've done, I know we'll have more, we've been having free face covering and hand sanitizer giveaways. So look out for that. We'll post it on social media. And when we have that, it's a city event, and usually we have it to the front of City Hall. You don't even have to get out of your car. It's a drive-up event. Drive up. We'll place the mask and the hand sanitizer inside your vehicle, so there's no exposure at all. So that, I know we have another one coming up soon, so please watch social media, because that will be posted here very soon.
Sonia Velasquez, can you repeat the number for non-emergency services, please?
The number for non-emergency services is 626-580-2100, and that is a non-emergent number that goes right to our dispatch center, and which is operated 24/7. And of course, for an emergency, it's 911.
Any other questions?
Of course, you can always call us at any of those numbers. You receive some other numbers and information. You come up with questions after this, please give us a call. If we don't have the answer right away, we will definitely come up with the answer and get back to you.
We will leave the floor open for questions. Best questions or comments will receive an opportunity for a raffle opportunity drawing.
Rich, anything else?
Just a reminder that all the information, the videos, and the PowerPoint will be available on our, coming up here, all of our videos and the emails, the PowerPoint will be available on the city website. So if anyone misses it or a family member wants to see it again, they can easily access it on the city website. And again, you can actually email me directly at rluna, L-U-N-A, at elmontepd.org, and I can send you any available information. Any other questions, Eric?
Okay, that's going to conclude our presentation. But again, the partnership we have continues with your police department and your entire city. We're here to support you, not just during this COVID-19 pandemic time, but any other time you need anything of us, please call us. Count us as your city, as your police department, to be here for you and support you. And like I said, hopefully we can have these live meetings very soon. So have a good evening, and thank you.